Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Engineer Ron Hart and the Public Information Officer for the Glendale Fire Department. Glendale Fire Department Chaplain Ochoa will lead us in the invocation.
Would you please bow your heads? Lord, this afternoon we come before you in gratitude. We thank you for Fire Chief Mark Burdick. We thank you for his sacrifice. We thank you for his years of service to the Glendale Fire Department, to the membership, to the city of Glendale, to the citizens, to the community at large. We thank you, Lord, for his leadership, and above all, for him guiding us over these years, but also to the course of his career. We also thank you for the imprint that he has left upon each and every single member of this organization and of this city. And we also thank you, Father, for Colleen, his wife, and for her sacrifice also, for the endless times, Father, of evenings and nights and weekends, and sometimes days, Lord, when she would sacrifice of her time, Father, allowing her husband to serve the community. We would ask that you would bless her and that you would honor her. We thank you for their daughters, dear God, and also for the sacrifice they made also, again, in sharing their father with the community and the citizens in the Glendale Fire Department. We would ask that you would show your favor and your honor and your blessing on Mark. We thank you so much for not only the friendships that he has built in the organization, but also throughout the entire valley and the state and the nation. We thank you so much for the leadership, the innovation, and above all, just the guidance he has given us. And he has left this place better than it wasn't when he started. And we thank you for the firm foundation that he has left us. So today is bittersweet for us as an organization. We thank you so much again for him. We would ask for your hand upon our organization also as we continue to move forward again in serving the citizens of Glendale, again in saving lives and protecting property, and above all, serving the entire aspect of the Brotherhood of Firefighters. Thank you for meeting us here today. In the name of our Lord, we pray these things. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. I would like to make a few acknowledgments before we begin this momentous occasion. Please hold your applause until I finish. First, I would like to announce the following in attendance: various members of the Glendale City Council. In addition, Acting City Manager Dick Bowers. Thank you for your attendance. Mayor Jerry Wares is on business and unable to attend and sends his regards. I would like to acknowledge the many fire service professionals, police and military members, both active, retired, or currently on duty, including Glendale firefighters and its membership. Thank you for coming. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, family, and partners of the Glendale Fire Department, Glendale Fire has many firsts in the history of this great fire department, and today is no exception. For today, we honor and observe the professional services of Fire Chief Mark Burdick with an unprecedented and unique change of command ceremony. Historically, changes of command are a formal military tradition involving an entire military base and its members. For decades on end, military forces have rallied around, fought and died for a symbol of freedom and pride within their unit. Military units are mostly represented by a flag, guidon, or color which identifies and defines its mission and purpose. A military change of command involves the passing of that flag. It is a formal transfer of authority and responsibility from one commanding officer to another. Similarly, the American Fire Service is a paramilitary organization. We have a rank structure. We use words like combat, offensive attack, and our enemy is fire and smoke. We work in platoons or companies. We are regimented, disciplined, organized, detailed, and we wear a uniform. We have a command structure on incidents and transfer command up the chain of responsibility as senior officers arrive. The Glendale Fire Department is no exception. So it seems appropriate that we witness today an historical event within the Glendale Fire Department with its first ever change of command ceremony. Fire Chief Mark Burdick will pass the Glendale Fire Department unit flag to Interim Fire Chief DeChant, signifying the transfer of command and authority as conferred by Acting City Manager Dick Bowers. Before we begin, I would like to invite Glendale Fire Chief Mark Burdick to the podium for a few remarks.
To begin, I want to thank everybody for being here. It's fantastic. It's very overwhelming. I'm an emotional guy, so I'm sure I'll tear up and all those things, and it's going to be rough on me. But when I look around and saw the folks that were here, at 2:45, there was probably a half a dozen people here, and I was a little worried, and they said, Mark, you've never been on time. Why would anybody worry about being here at 3 o'clock? But this is I want to thank Acting Captain Hart for his PIO duties and his emceeing here. But also, I've got so many of you to thank that it would be impossible to touch everyone. So if I could, indulge me for just a moment, I would really like to acknowledge again our mayor and council that it's here, that we're able to attend. For those of you not in the business of the city business, we like to equate how it operates as the city council is like our board of directors, and our acting city manager, Mr. Dick Bowers, is the CEO. But for us in the city, for Police Chief Black and I, we report to Mr. Bowers. So he is the Commander-in-Chief at the local level. He has obviously met with Chief DeChant, vetted him through, and I feel very confident and comfortable that Chief DeChant is the right person to run the organization while we continue to finalize the process of recruiting a permanent chief, which I think Chief DeChant will do very, very well in. Our city manager, Mr. Bowers, said, I concur, and this is a good thing to do, and we authorize it. So within the paramilitary business that we're in, we want to do this change of command. So I want to thank the council, Mr. Bowers, for the authority to do this. I also would love to thank a number of the city department heads, directors. Our interim assistant city manager is here. Tom Dunsing, our attorney, Michael Bailey, I see Pam Hanna there, our clerk. They're all the appointed officials. Again, Councilmember Turner, Councilmember Shavira, thank you guys. And you guys all know Councilmember Shavira is also a Phoenix firefighter. When I look in the back, I think we've trumped you though, Councilmember Shavira, because I see our firefighter Daniel Valenzuela in the back, who's Vice Mayor of Phoenix. So come on, let's get going here. Thank you guys. And also, this is interesting because I see former Vice Mayor Freitas here. This is like one of those things, like a DeChant thing. You know, you got the Vice Mayor, and I think this Vice Mayor Kanak was coming by. So a lot of folks, and Councilmember Sherwood just walked in. So thank you all. I want to thank our staff, our command staff. We've got a great group of folks here. We really do. This is Chief Pompa, Jensen, all the command staff that is here, our deputy chiefs, our battalion chiefs. They've got a great group of folks. I want to give a special thanks to Captain Joe Hester. I know he, Tony Butch, our E-Board on the labor side have done a terrific job of helping us, and I feel like we're very good partners in managing the organization. We've got a lot of partners I'd like to mention, and I think it's very important that we acknowledge that folks over the years have done some very creative, innovative things with the organization, and we've got a small two-person station in the clinic at Midwestern University. I can't thank Midwestern enough. Aerovac, we partnered and staffed the back of an ambulance with them. We have continued to maintain partnerships with so many people. I know I always say Blue Cross Blue Shield helped us with our crisis unit. Lynette Jelinek runs that, Sarah Stefan, they do an incredible job. Additionally, we have representatives from Luke Air Force Base here. I think Lieutenant Colonel Herndon is here, thank you. And Horseman is here, Chief Horseman, there he is. We got a lot of the chiefs there, Chief Urbanza, Chief Yates, Chief Kincaid, thank you. We stole this from you guys, and we have a great partnership. We did a short-term partnership with Luke Air Force Base where we dual-staffed an engine, another unique opportunity. They advised me they think it was the first time not only done in the Air Force but in the Department of Defense. So it's really one of those things that we were honored to be able to participate with them. In our opportunity to work with Luke, we saw how we were very similar in our mission, and we appreciate that, and we wanted to be able to use some of what they did here. And one of the things I got to attend was some of the lieutenant colonels when they transfer command, the colonels, and ultimately the general, the wing commander. And what it signified was that someone was in charge. It wasn't acting principal day or acting teacher day. It was that the person you turn over the reins to, they've got command of the organization. So that's why we wanted to do this day. I would be remiss also, and I know we've got a little thing after this, and I can thank some specific individuals, but I do have to say on a broad brush, we've got a phenomenal administrative staff here, the ladies and gentlemen that run our administration. We have a fantastic resource division that the folks work very hard in. We've got our volunteers. I mentioned the crisis unit, our cadet programs, where I thought about the other day, we run 100 to 120 volunteers in the organization in a department of 280. That's a third of our department is still supported by volunteers. We've got across the board our training division, again, EMS, I can go through Dr. Gamers here, our medical director, and we've got just a terrific group of folks who keep this place moving forward. I mentioned Luke because not only did they help us with this, stealing this process, but they also, that innovation that we had to dual staff the unit made me think about what we've done as a fire service over the years. We've got automatic aid. A number of our automatic aid chiefs are here, and I thank you for being here. We've got representatives from Phoenix, Peoria, Daisy Mountain, all over. I've got mentors here from everywhere that I've worked with for years. Chief Gaylord, Chief Adams, these guys have been fantastic. As we have done things here, we've had discussions with other chiefs, and we continue to look at what we can do to be efficient and effective and innovative. So, before I step down and exchange the command of the organization, I wanted to let the men and women of the Glendale Fire Department know something. I want to thank you. I think you are the ones who carry out the work. And in every venue, our inspectors, prevention, for the guys out there on the streets who interact with the public every day and fulfill the mission, which is to save lives and protect property. I want to thank you for doing such a phenomenal job. I have watched over the years where you have taken on additional workload and met challenges by being creative and innovative. And we often take that for granted. I mentioned the automatic aid system. Our partners in that system work seamlessly with us and dispatch the closest unit. We have GPS on the trucks, and we get there as quickly as possible, regardless of boundaries. When we do this, I want you to know we carry out this public safety crossing of jurisdictions. We also work in partnerships with our excellent partners with the police department who have their mission to carry out, and they work with any given day in Glendale, a truck from Glendale, perhaps a truck from Peoria, Phoenix, Sun City West. It doesn't matter. Anywhere in the valley can come in, and our officers work seamlessly and provide that service to our citizens and help protect us, and we can't thank you all enough also. As we carry out our mission to protect lives and save property, we do it the most efficient, effective way we know, but we do it in a way that sometimes people look at and say, I don't understand why you do that. You've got these big fire trucks, and you've got 4 people on them. Can't you do it a little better? The other day I was talking to an individual, and it struck me, folks, it really did. He said, Mark, when I was a young man, growing up, the garbage truck would go down the alley, and it had 3 people on it. It had a driver and 2 people in the back, and they would pick up the cans. And over the years, the sanitation services have been innovative, and they've got that down to just 1 person. And they pick up the can, and they throw the trash in, and they're efficient. Why do you have to have 4 people on the truck? Why can't you guys do something more effective like that? And I paused for just a second. I said, I don't mean to be a little bit rude here, but the last time I checked, people aren't garbage. The last time I checked, the 40,000 times a year in Glendale, the men and women of the Glendale Fire Department climb on those big trucks and they roll out, and they aren't quite sure what they're going to roll into. I got on the truck the other day with a crew, and we had a car motorcycle wreck. And when we responded and got on the scene, it was 2 elderly women on scooters, and one had gone off in the rocks. She cut her knee on a little piece of concrete, and our firefighters taped her up. We moved the scooter back on the street. She said, I'm fine, I don't need anything. But folks, we did not design the system, unfortunately. The system is designed that when you call 911, we respond, and we have no way to screen that through the alarm room. The alarm room gets a call, and they say there's been a car motorcycle wreck, so we roll a truck. I try to explain to people that the trucks are rolling toolboxes, and now I've even said they're rolling mini emergency rooms. They have 12 lead AKGs. They can patch with a cell phone now instead of a big old radio like we used to do back in the day. They can treat people for heart attacks, strokes right on the scene. They can do things that they've never done before, and they continue to provide that service as effectively as they can. And what's the most fascinating thing to me is recently the fire service worked with the National Institute of Standards and Technology. These are a bunch of scientists, and they said, we want you to look at our staffing model because we get questioned a lot. So what is the appropriate staffing model? Is it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? It's pretty common sense, folks. If you use 2 people on an apparatus or an ambulance or whatever you respond with, they can do a good job. If you use 3, they do a little better. If you use 4, it's better, 5, 6. What they found out, fascinating though, We asked them to look at fires, and they said when you put 3 people on a truck, you can do a pretty good job. If you put 4, you're very, very effective. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, passed a law that said we have to have 2 in, 2 out, so we have to have 4 people on scene anyway. But they said, you know, the effectiveness of adding more people on a fire really doesn't change much until you get about 6. Now, I didn't want to make our council and city manager cringe when I came in and said, gee, we want 6 people on a truck, right? We go, how do we balance this? How do we make this right? What shocked us was when they studied EMS. 2 people on an EMS call is very effective on a critical call. 3 people they become more efficient. And when you have 4 people, they take a 1.5 minutes off the on-scene time. So science is telling us we're staffing the best we can. What we need to do moving forward in the fire service is say, how do we manage the calls that people don't just pick up 911 dial and say, there's a car motorcycle wreck when a woman went off the road on a scooter. Similarly, how do we do it on the call I responded to in my career when they call up and they say, there's an injured person in a parking lot, and we rolled up, we had a 2.5-year-old full coat who'd been backed over by a car. So that rolling emergency room gets there and we don't know what we're going to face. And when they go do a minor call, they get on the truck and perhaps there's a house fire down the street. We have documented, I can't tell you how many times, where trucks have cut loose from a medical call, gone to a fire call and stopped the fire in the early stages before people lost everything they owned. How we do our business, folks, I want you to know, is continuously being analyzed. We have evolved. When I first came on this department, our first aid boxes were toolboxes. Our heart monitors were damn near wind-up things. I mean, it was just archaic compared to today. So we evolved and we continue to provide efficient service. In my time as fire chief, I am extremely proud that we accomplished a number of things, but I want to tell you we didn't do any of it. Nothing we accomplished without the help of every one of you. Because you, the men and women of the Glendale Fire Department, are the ones who actually do the work and touch the patient and make us more efficient, more effective. I want to say this because we're under significant constraints, aren't we? And I want to say to our police department, it reminded me in 2005, 2006, at the height of the economy, when everything was going good, we were in bidding wars for police officers. You couldn't get police officers. Firefighters were lined up at the door and we were bringing people in, and you know what? They didn't care what they paid them. They didn't care what their pensions were. They didn't worry. They said, hire them. Get them on the streets. We went through the Great Recession, and now it's, are you guys sure you got to work for that much? Can we cheapen that down? Last year, 8 police officers lost their lives in the line of duty in Arizona. I don't know how we address this issue. I know we have to continue to look at efficiency. I turned to the great partners at Luke Air Force Base, and I thought about this. When we talk about, and we work diligently in this city to make sure Glendale, Luke Air Force Base secured the F-35 mission. There are folks out there that say, boy, those are expensive airplanes. Whew, high dollar. They do a lot of stuff, by the way, guys. You know, when they go off on an F-35 and they're on a mission, they're going to go strike a target. Maybe a plane comes up after them, a bad guy, another jet, and they can do air-to-air, they can do air-to-ground. Kind of a rolling toolbox, isn't it? So when a fire truck goes out, it's prepared to take on whatever they want to throw at it. But we looked at Luke Air Force Base, we looked at the mission, and we said it's critical for us to have that mission, because if you ask people, do we want our military near us? I say absolutely. Our military is the defense for our country. We need to protect freedom, democracy. It comes at a price. Our local police department, our local fire department is expensive. It comes at a price. But I would ask that we continue to strive, obviously to be efficient, but not to put things too much in a cost model where we want to say, well, what's the cheapest we can do? People are not garbage. 40,000 times a year, someone in Glendale has a local disaster, a personal disaster. They have a heart attack, a stroke, a fire. 40,000 times a year, they need our help. Some of that is a minor issue. But until we can figure out how to screen all that and us to get to just the critical stuff, I don't know. I talked to someone the other day, and our partners in the hospitals, we have Brazo, Arrowhead, we have Banner, Thunderbird, and I believe it's Honor Health, Dignity Health out at Westgate. Our partners in the hospital said we're building standalone clinics. People take someone sick to the clinic and they ship them off to the emergency room. So we don't quite have this evolving EMS system down, but we will. I know we'll refine it as we move along. Our partners at the ambulance business, at the ambulance industry, Southwest Ambulance, have been good to us, and they work with us, and they also try to make us as effective as we can be, and deliver the service in the most efficient and effective way. I'm only telling you this today because we in the fire service are the ones who carry out the mission. We in the fire service have to protect that mission. Luke Air Force Base protects that mission, and they protect us. The police department protects their mission, they protect us. We must protect our mission. Last time I walked in a station, I watched at shift change, and our firefighter was taking their gear and they were putting on the truck. And I've said this to our firefighters before, but I watched it, and I thought about it, and I told them, do you realize when you put that gear on the truck, you're making a conscious decision you may die for your community? By the grace of God, our department has had a pretty safe track record, but every day they do this, there's a chance they could not come home that day. We know that. It's a real chance, and yet they're willing to lay their lives on the line. It's a noble cause, it's a noble profession, and I will tell you guys, I have been absolutely proud to serve next to the finest men and women. Great people. I'm going to miss this dearly. I've waited to last, and there's a number of you I want to call out. I have to say a shout out to Chief Lavenda, because I promised him, our old assistant chief, I say old, he was left in 2000, he's a great guy, and Chief Lavenda, I promised I'd come back around. He helped me tremendously. But before I step down and turn this over to Chief DeChant, who's extremely capable and competent, I'm willing to bet will talk a lot less than me. I also want to say thanks to my family. My good friend Chaplain Ochoa, who's listened to me far too many times, and you guys think I got ADD, boy, think about the chaplain feels when I'm going, Chaplain, I've got this problem. Oh, by the way, did you see that? My family has helped us so much over the years. Helped me, I say us, because my wife has been my principal advisor. And over the years, she has probably had far more ulcers than I have, and I can't thank her enough. She has been absolutely my bedrock. I thank you for the years of service. To my daughters, Hannah and Danielle, I'm so excited. You guys, you're about the age that when my dad moved on to a different part of his career, I didn't even know what he did, so someday you'll go, what did my dad used to do? Because I'll just be, as Danielle said, when do you retire, Dad? I said, the end of May. And she goes, oh, then you're nobody. So thank you for serving your mission selflessly. Thank you for all you do. I know for our partners that are out there, thank you for helping us. You've been terrific to us. I thank you all for being here. I can't tell you how much it means. I appreciate it. And most of all, I want to leave you guys extremely confident. The purpose of this is to say, when I hand off the flag to Chief DeChant, there is no break in command. There is no substitute teacher day. We are going to move forward. Chief DeChant is absolutely confident. He has some great things that he's going to do to the department, and I know Mr. Bowers will be happy and pleased with his leadership. He'd be confident of that. And Councilmember Aldama, thank you, walked in, and I appreciate all of you here. I will now step away. Thank you.
Fire Chief Mark Burdick, you have served us well. Please pass the unit colors to Chief Chris DeChant. Chief Chris DeChant, by order of Acting City Manager, you are hereby appointed as Interim Fire Chief of the Glendale Fire Department. Congratulations.
I would like to thank you, Mark, for the faith and belief that you had in me to promote me 7 years ago to Assistant Chief. That decision was part of a larger vision to assure the department would not be left with a gap in executive leadership when you retired. It is now a model we need to build on for the future. I would also like to thank the City Council and the manager for allowing me to serve as the interim fire chief. Many of you know that I'm kind of a geek when it comes to leadership and management studies, and I recently read an article that actually applies directly to our department, and it was discussing leadership strategies during times of transition. The article focused on 3 separate strategies. The first strategy is to manage in the line of sight. In the next few weeks, we'll be working with current partners, some of them that Chief Burdick already described, to expand relationships and create new programs to provide more increased internal and external customer service. We're committed to finding solutions that will continue our high level of customer service while providing emergency response relief to our firefighters, and that's exactly what Chief Burdick was talking about with the 40,000 times a year our men and women leave the fire station to respond. Additionally, efficiencies will be created through electronic patient care reporting and our new scheduling system. These are exciting times for us that are going to help create more efficiencies for us. These are just a few of the many tools that are required for our department to grow and achieve greater success with the service we provide to our citizens. The second strategy is to over-communicate. I promise that we will engage all employees within our department to make sure that we're creating these solutions as a team, to make sure that we're successful. The last strategy is to reflect and reprioritize. In the next 2 weeks, we'll be creating a new vision statement for our department with input from employees throughout the organization. This vision statement will become the central building block for us to conduct an organizational analysis and update our 5-year strategic plan so that it aligns with our employees' vision for the organization. This new plan will help us navigate where we want to go as an organization while also exploring new ways to provide service for our community. I can't stress enough, as Chief Burdick said, our organization is entering into an unprecedented leadership transition. Starting today and over the next year, we'll be not only losing our fire chief, but an assistant chief, 2 deputy chiefs, and a battalion chief. To put that in perspective, that is 20% of our top leadership within the organization. And while that will create challenges for us, I am very excited about the opportunity that's going to create for new leaders within our organization to take us to the next level. Over the past few years, I've been fortunate to learn about fire departments from all across the nation while I was studying at the National Fire Academy. And I can tell you without a doubt, to the men and women of the Glendale Fire Department, the job that we do here in Glendale every day as a team and the level of customer service that we provide is unparalleled by any organization throughout the fire service. So in closing, like Chief Burdick said, I want to thank you, the men and women of the Glendale Fire Department, for supporting me to lead the finest department in the nation. I look forward to working for you and with you to take us to that next level. Thank you.